Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of First Look Final Word, podcast where we take you along to see a movie with us. I'm Pete.
And I'm Trevor. What's going on, you Jesus cyborgs?
Jesus cyborg.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Maybe giving away some themes from the movie a little bit, but how's it going, everybody?
Knows, but that's all right.
This week we're going to see RoboCop.
Yes.
In a violent, near-apocalyptic Detroit, evil corporation Omni Consumer Products wins a contract from the city government to privatize the police force. To test their crime-eradicating cyborgs, the company leads street cop Alex Murphy. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stop right there because it's just giving away the first act of the movie.
You all know RoboCop. You don't need this as a full synopsis.
Holy cow. Okay, you know what? Well, it's kind of bad weather around here this week, so
we're risking a lot here.
We're giving ourselves lots of time to get to the theater. And we're going to take it nice and slow, see how it goes. Maybe this is the slip and slide episode.
This might finally be the episode where we end up upside down in the ditch.
Yeah, so
we'll still carry on, don't worry.
Who will win the pool at that point?
I don't know. Funny. It's going to happen eventually, right?
It feels like forever since we've been in a car.
I know, we've been doing a lot of home shows. Oh, January's a bit of a dry time.
Yeah.
For the old new releases. So we've been doing a lot of sitting in basements and talking about Aardman and stuff.
Well, if you were listening last week, you know that we kind of pressed pause on our Aardman Project. We're going to get back to that starting in March, but in February, we're doing a bit of an Oscar catch-up.
Yes. They didn't really plan it that well ahead, as we said, but I'm looking forward to rattling through all these movies that I always miss. Every year I miss them.
Well, you had this great idea that for our next project, we could do an Oscar catch-up list, which just was such a good idea, but then, we would have missed
exactly
the Oscar season. Maybe everyone wouldn't care anymore.
Yeah, there's no point doing it after the Oscars. So,
but I think that's how a lot of people kind of end up watching these movies is they see that this movie's getting nominated for all these Oscars, maybe I should check it out.
Well, that's usually what I do, but then I usually never get around to watching half of them. So,
right. So, if you are just checking in the podcast to hear our immediate reactions to RoboCop, you can just look at the description underneath and skip ahead to that.
We're probably going to forgo much of a RoboCop conversation until after the fact, just because we've seen it many times, and I'm sure you guys have seen it if you're listening to this. But
we'll get to we might get to a little bit to expectations before we get there. But we have 3 movies to cover this week, so we want to leave lots of time.
Yeah, we're trying to rattle through a few movies this week. That's why you've seen such a crazy episode title. It barely fits on the screen, but that's all right.
All right, so do you want to go through this in our order of viewing?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense, right? What Dune
we can talk about Dune Part Two first. All right, so Pete, what do you think of Dune 2?
Well, yeah, so obviously there's a couple of episodes today that we have already done episodes on. I think is it the only 2 that we did?
I think it's the only 2 we've covered. We did a bad job guessing at what would be selected as Best Picture winners this year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unfortunately, Venom: The Last Dance did not get picked. Metropolis.
Cruelly robbed.
Yeah, we saw a lot of real stinkers this year, but a lot of good episodes.
True. Yeah.
I think one of our best episodes and one of the best movies of the year is Dune Part 2.
Yes, that was a huge one. And we got advance tickets to that and went down to the big IMAX screen, and it was amazing.
Yeah, so it honestly was probably my second favorite viewing experience of 2024.
Ooh.
After Interstellar.
Oh, that's a good.
Which you saw in 70 millimeter. Also a good episode for people to check out.
Yes. Definitely, both of them were well worth the trip down to where we watched them.
So we're almost like a year on from when we first saw Dune Part 2. How has the movie changed in your estimation?
A tricky one to say because I haven't actually gone back and rewatched it since. I'm not sure if you have. So I've
seen it 4 times now.
Yes, of course you have. Yeah, I've not rewatched it. I've just not got around to rewatching it. As you all know by now, I'm really quite pathetic at finding time to watch movies. So rewatching movies is also incredibly difficult for me. So all I have is the memory of that first time. So my memory is that it's the most amazing thing ever. But
yeah, it's still.
I'd be hard pressed to remember specific details of it. I think at this point.
Well, it is sort of it's sort of like a hangout movie. It's like,
Yeah, and also
know-
as things sort of overlap between the first and second sometimes when I try and think of it, although they are quite different, I found.
I've now seen Dune 2 like 4 times in a row without having gone back to Dune Part 1.
Really? You never double build it?
You know I want to.
Yeah, I know
but
you want to.
That's like a solid working day.
Yeah, you need to take a day off work for that one.
Yeah, like maybe I can come down with a cold or something.
Just don't tell the wife.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, can you drop the kids off at school today?
I'm really not feeling up to anything apart from laying in bed and watching Dune.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do that, but I'm also gonna mention her to skip this episode.
Yeah.
So she doesn't hear this plan, or we can edit this out maybe.
Yeah.
But no, like I'm gonna like reserve doing my top 10 for when we kind of do our
well, it's
rankings.
kind of hard when we haven't seen more than half of them.
But you know, I can confidently say that Dune 2 is going to be one of the movies that I revisit a lot.
Yeah, and I would probably say, just knowing the nominations but not having seen them, I would be surprised, knowing me, if Dune 2 wasn't really high up my list, if not my favorite of the year.
Well, I kind of want to get into this. Like, do you think that Dune 2 was snubbed, even though it's nominated for like 5 Oscars?
You know what? You mean specifically at the Oscars, or just
specifically at the Oscars?
Well, I don't know. What do you think got snubbed? I mean, Denis got snubbed, I guess, right?
Well, that to me is egregious, because
was he nominated last year?
He was not nominated last time either.
Was it last year or the year before?
No, it was
came out.
It was 2 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
But no, like they're kind of just ignoring like what he's doing there with Dune, which I think
that is kind of crazy.
Are some of like the best directed like sci-fi action movies ever. Like how many directors, like even on a technical skill, could do what he accomplished with Dune?
Well, it might be one of those things where, to your point, it was such a long time ago. I always feel like that makes a big difference with the voters. Yeah, especially with like acting categories and stuff, because I don't think any of the acting got nominated, right, from Dune too. That would be a snub, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like it's a pretty big snub in my mind. Like, and this is another casualty of the actors' strike, because the movie was originally supposed to come out around November 2023.
Yeah, that's right.
But because of the actors' strike, you didn't have like gorgeous young Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya around to promote your movie, which which would have been stupid, right? Because
that's what happened to a lot of movies, right?
So it gets bumped to February, and all of a sudden it's just like it's a sleeper winter hit, as opposed to like a serious Oscar play, which I feel like it should be.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like it came out in February, and then people just don't have quite long memories for this sort of thing, because it kind of had to have been also like the biggest movie of the year for people to have remembered.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of recency bias, I think, when it comes to Oscar time. And then like things pick up speed and get buzz, and then there's a train that runs, and it's like not necessarily the best out of the whole year. It's just the one that was most popular right now.
Yeah, and like Everything Everywhere All at Once came out around March and kind of stayed consistently popular, but it also had like, it was a smaller indie movie and had really great word of mouth and kind of just built momentum. But that's not really like a good blueprint for other Oscar movies to use.
No, exactly. It's like it proves the rule, right? What's the expression?
Yeah. So like at the end of our Oscar catch-up, like I was also going to do my like a best actor thing or whatever, if you're interested in doing that too. But I would definitely nominate multiple people from Dune Part 2.
Yeah, it's got some great performances in it, right? Like I've not got like the nominations in front of me. I don't memorize that stuff as well as you do. So who got leading? Who are the leading actor noms?
Well, so Timmy got
because he got it
for A Complete Unknown,
right?
And to be fair, I have not seen A Complete Unknown yet.
So maybe we'll backtrack and say it was well worth it.
But honestly, like I would very seriously consider nominating him for Dune Part 2.
Has that ever happened where one actor gets 2 nominations for different movies? Can you actually even do that?
Yeah, what I don't know if it's happened in the same category, but it's happened.
That's what I mean. Like, imagine you got 2 leading actor nominations.
The last time I recall it happened, Scarlett Johansson got a Best Supporting nomination for Jojo Rabbit the same year she got a Best Best Leading Actress nomination for Marriage Story. In the same year.
Really?
And it does happen on occasion. Like, people kind of just have these great years,
right? I suppose. But they're never going to give them both, though, are they?
Yeah, like in the same category. Like, I'm sure it has happened before. There's nothing that, but at that point, I think like the actor's PR team is going to be saying like, "Hey, let's not push us in one movie because you're going to split the vote, right?"
Imagine you had 2 noms in the Best Actor category and still lost.
Yeah,
you'd be devastated.
But sometimes you see like. That's why, like, maybe Timmy is going to win this year because he not only has a complete unknown, but he has Dune Part 2. Like, he's basically had, like, the most incredible year for a 20-something male actor in a very long time.
And they'll do that sometimes, right? If someone's if someone's had a good for like a few years, they'll be like, "This is kind of like the accumulation of all those roles. This is not necessarily your best one, but we'll give you a statue anyway."
Yeah, so he is. Maybe the front runner, maybe it's Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, which we also still need to see.
Yeah, I know. I've not seen either of those movies. So.
But of course, Brody has some hardware already for The Pianist back in the day.
There you go. Yeah, I might go against him.
So you never know. But Chalamet's also like 28. And they're like, we're not going to give it to this brat.
Yeah, that's very true.
And
too.
Yeah, traditionally, like for the best actor goes like skews older. I think Brody is the youngest to ever win it at like 29 or whatever.
Wow. Okay.
But for best actress, they tend to like to give it to younger people.
Younger or older?
Like they like to give the best actress to the younger actresses.
I thought you said actor. I was like, you just said the opposite.
I just said the. Yeah. So what that kind of tells you a bit about Hollywood right there, without going too deep into that.
I mean, you know what I think about the Oscars in general, but there you go. It's all just a big.
You're just mad Glenn Close doesn't have some hardware.
Well, that's just a big wanky boys club, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk more about it.
So yeah, Dune Part 2, a fantastic movie. Definitely check out our episodes.
So before we move on from Dune, I know you said it had 5 noms. Like, do you know what they all are?
Well, I was kind of guessing that it was 5 noms.
But I just put you on the spot now. I thought you knew everything.
So it got Best Picture.
Maybe I should pull this up.
It did not get scored because they said that Zimmer used too much.
Oh, but yeah, that's bullshit.
I want to double check if it got cinematography. Like, it really should have. And then I think it got special effects, audio mixing, and audio editing.
Okay.
I would say.
Here you go. I pulled it up. Just a little bit of live Googling here. So let's have a look what we've got for Dune 2. Vamp. Scrolling down, I'm not seeing it.
Other people in the lead acting category, I know Coleman Domingo is nominated again this year.
They got cinematography.
Okay, well, that's
sorry to interrupt.
They got Best Picture.
Yeah.
They did not get any acting noms.
No, I'm like, did he get editing? No.
Even that, like, not even for Rebecca Ferguson. I mean, come on.
Wow. Yeah, I'm scrolling down here. I'm not seeing much.
I think they picked up a bunch of technicals.
Yeah, I need to go further down this line here.
So, anyways,
we'll get back to that. Yeah, all right. I don't know.
How likely do you think Dune 2 is going to be taking home the big prize?
Not likely. I don't think it's
basically zero chance.
It's not the kind of movie they give that award to. It'll get a couple. Like I found on here, it's got sound, visual effects. So it'll probably get. If it doesn't get, what else is in visual effects here? Alien Romulus is not going to win. Better Man.
That's hilarious.
Can't imagine that's going to win. Well, fair play to it. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, that's cool. Those are two monkeys now.
Yeah, head-to-head monkey. Well, Wicked, that's got monkeys in too.
Oh yeah,
Battle of the CG monkeys.
What a monkey year! Monkeying around.
Is there a monkey in Alien Romulus? I don't think so, right?
I guess like there's an abomination somewhere in that movie.
Yeah. Check out our episode of that one if you're interested to hear more.
The abomination is some bad CGI.
So it could win that best visual effects. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I could see that.
Did it not get nominated for cinematography?
I thought you just said it did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good because it should have.
Yeah, like it would be insane to not give that cinematography.
Yeah, it definitely did. Good old Greg Fraser.
Greg Fraser, yeah, and he's not coming back to do Messiah.
Is he not?
No, I think
That's
he's not
interesting.
available. So I actually can't
Huh.
remember who they got to do the next one.
Interesting.
But he's basically like, he and Deacon's obviously like two best in the biz right
Big
now.
hitters, right?
Or Hoyt van Hoytema too. I don't think
yeah.
it's any of those three though. I don't know who's doing Messiah. So write in. Tell us who the cinematographer is going to be on Dune 3.
There's no other way for us to find out, guys. We need your help.
Anyway, so let's move on to Conclave.
Okay.
We also did an episode on Conclave. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, spoilers, we both quite liked it.
We both quite liked it. I think not like wholeheartedly loving it though, from what I remember. Is that
yeah,
or is it aged better in your mind now? Was kind of my
takeaway. Yeah, honestly, I think it's like compared to the other movies that I've seen that have come out, it's definitely up there. It's definitely one of the best. But yeah, it didn't like.
Oh, and Ray Fiennes obviously nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah,
as well.
I think I'm not surprised because it's got a lot of actors noms because the acting was just great all around, amazing all around in that movie. It's just it's very much just people sat in rooms and talking and intrigue, and it's all acting. So, but yeah, I mean, it's not going to win Best Picture. I don't think. I don't know what the scuttlebutt is in the trades.
Well, there's just lots of crazy stuff going on in the world today in the Best Picture race. So basically, like, there's bad press on almost every movie.
Really?
I don't really think there's bad press about Conclave unless I've just missed it. So, but this is a movie that's
a nice safe one for him to pick, I suppose.
Like, and that's the thing with the Best Picture category is that it's not just whoever gets the most votes wins. This is the one category that every Academy voter can vote on.
Yeah, what's the name of that?
It's ranked ballot.
Ranked ballot, that's the one. It's an interesting way to do it.
So this is one that everyone could vote like third place.
Everyone's second favorite movie ends up winning. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
That's how, and I apologize for shitting on this movie again, but that's how Coda ended up winning, right? Because everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's fine.
It was pretty good.
It's my third favorite movie of the year." And now, like literally, the only person who still talks about Coda is me saying,
"Just ragging up."
Can you believe that Coda won Best Picture?
I've never actually seen Coda, so I have no view on that either way. Well done, Coda.
And Conclave, to its credit, is much, much, much better than Coda. Right. Like I love the score, love the editing, I love all the performances. Yeah. I don't even know who got nominated from that aside from Ray Fiennes. I think Isabella Rossellini got nominated.
She definitely did. I don't know if he got any support.
Did Stanley Tucci get nominated?
I don't think he did because I
remember
thinking he should.
He's like the best part of the movie. Everyone online loves like the bad guy who vapes.
Yep, no Tooch. Nobody from supporting actor.
Well, that's a shame.
That is a shame.
And then did Edward Berger get nominated for Best Director?
Good question. No.
No? Okay. Can you just say who the 5 best directors are?
Yeah, so we got Honora, Sean Baker, Brutalist, Brady Corbet. Is it Corbet or Corbett?
I think it's Corbett, but
The Complete Unknown, James Mangold, Amelia Perez, Jacques Audiard, and The Substance, Coralie Fargit.
Yeah, like
I probably murdered that.
I'm not going to call out like any one of those directors, but like,
that's an interesting spread, right?
I would probably put both Denis and Edward in there.
I mean, I've only seen the Honora out of that list, so it's hard for me to judge, but it seems like an interesting choice. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe maybe we shouldn't just lament how stupid the Oscars are the whole time.
It's hard to do, right, when you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
When you haven't seen some of the movies and stuff, maybe it's like, oh yeah, obviously they're the best directed movies of this year.
Yeah. But no, like Conclave, I feel like a lot of people might just not end up watching because it might seem like it's just like too much of a like a grown up boring movie.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like we both really enjoyed it. It's actually quite exciting to see all those cardinals kind of like scheming like high school girls, basically.
I think it's got a good chance, because it's a good movie, but it's also like it's very Oscar, not Oscar baity, but it's very much what
prestige,
very much what the Oscar voters like to vote for,
Yeah.
because it's like classic acting and about religion.
It is sort of like an old-fashioned movie in that regard, in that it's got like high production values, great costumes, and like powerhouse performances. So we'll see. Like, the Oscars has been going more international lately, and it's got a German director, international production, so you never know.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me, put it that way. Would not shock me.
Yeah, so I think it has much better chance than Dune, which has no chance at all, basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah, anything else to say about Conclave?
No, I don't think so. Like we said, we did do an episode on that also. So if you want to hear us talk more about Conclave, go check that out. But yeah, it's good. Go see it. If you've not seen it, go see it, or put it on Netflix or whatever it's on.
Yeah, I would say if you think you know what that movie's going to be like, you are wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not a stuffy movie about religion and priests and stuff. It's actually,
it kind of is, but it's also
but not in the way the way you think.
Like, I think I heard it
it's like
before,
political intrigue.
The score is really incredible.
Oh yeah,
and the entire sound design, I think we were praising.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's so good, and it looks beautiful as well. Some of the shots in it are beautiful to look at.
All right, so should we move on to our third billing?
Yeah, what do we do? Wicked?
We're doing Wicked. So this is one that we have not covered on the podcast.
Oh, and Trevor and I have not really talked about it either. We both saw it independent of each other, if you can imagine that.
And I say, like, for those other two, we kind of are directing people back to our episodes to get our full, like,
spoilery. Yeah,
do you want to just spoil this one?
Are we going to spoil any of these movies? We can give like
let's give a warning that we're going to spoil Wicked.
Sure. Can you spoil Wicked?
I want to talk about, like, I guess you can. Like, it's still just part one. It's about the journey.
I guess.
My daughter definitely spoiled Wicked to me before I saw it.
Really?
Yeah.
What did she say? She turns wicked at the end? Shocked.
Well, she had not seen Wizard of Oz, so it was all
losing the title.
It was all new to her.
Right. She hasn't seen Wizard of Oz? Interesting.
But we watched it like since then, and she did really like it, but she likes Wicked better.
That would be interesting now. Like if your first time seeing a Wizard of Oz movie was Wicked before you'd seen Wizard of Oz. That's interesting.
Yeah. But like, she doesn't quite get that, Wicked is being subversive of like the original telling of Wizard of Oz, because as we were watching,
it would totally change the way you view Wizard of Oz.
As we were watching Wizard of Oz, she's like, the Wicked Witch isn't really bad. She's actually just nice and misunderstood.
Why is Dorothy being so mean to her?
I'm just like, I think she's just supposed to be bad in this one.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, my kids have seen Wizard of Oz, but they haven't seen Wicked. So
yeah, so my wife and daughter went to go see Wicked. My daughter went to like a kid's birthday party. They went to the theater, and it was like a bring your mom kind of birthday party.
Okay.
And she loved it, like, despite the lengthy runtime. Like,
she's a fairly long movie.
She's really good at sitting through long movies. Like, I think I got lucky in that department, because
my kids have not got the patience for that.
Yeah. So definitely counting my blessings for that one.
Well, don't bury the lead, Trevor. Did you like Wicked or not?
No, I'm ramping up to it.
You're keeping people on tenterhooks.
So for about 3 weeks or whatever, I was listening to the Wicked soundtrack with her, because she was just putting on every 5 seconds. And to be honest, my wife was doing the same. Like, my wife got really into the Wicked lore.
Really?
And she was basically telling me what each song was about as they were singing it.
Okay.
And saying, like, at the end of this song, like, you see that the animal starts turning more into like an animal and he can't talk, but that you're not supposed to know that going into the movie.
Poor old Peter Dinklage.
And then New Year's Eve, it had been released on video on demand. So my daughter was staying up anyways, so we decided to watch it from like 8 p.m. till 11
Okay, so you saw a home viewing of it. Interesting.
So I saw a home viewing, yeah. So I didn't get to go out to the theater like you did. Did you?
I took my mother. She was visiting from England, and we had a mother-son date out to see Wicked, which there wasn't many people there, but I mean, it had been out for a couple of months by then, I think.
Was it the sing-along version?
No, we didn't do the sing-along version.
Was that an option?
I know that they are doing showings, but I think there was only like one or two.
Right.
Like, so
Okay, well, so what did you think of Wicked?
all right.
You thought it was all right? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, no. It was fine. I mean, I don't mind a musical, and I thought the music in it was pretty good. But I don't know. And it's interesting to hear your thoughts on this because I'm a bit tired of the let's make the bad guy, give them a redemption arc and explore like their motivations and stuff. I'm a bit tired of that trope at this point. But I feel like Wicked was like the first one to do it on the stage show. So it's like the John Carter of Mars kind of problem where it's like no one likes it because he's seen it all before. It's like, well, I've only seen it all before. He's only seen it all before because I did it first and everyone copied me.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
So yeah, and I've not seen the stage play or anything. I don't know if you have.
No.
I know it's very, very popular. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a bit where I'm like, I don't really understand why we need to see a good Wicked Witch of the West. I feel like it just kind of ruins the Wizard of Oz a bit. And I'm not a huge Wizard of Oz like stan or anything, but and it's not saying the movie's not good. I get in this position. I think I've said this before somewhere. I'm just like, I don't care to see this movie, what this movie is,
right?
No matter how good it is.
It's building up the lore where you don't really think that's necessary.
Yeah. Plus, it was definitely way too long. I thought it took a while to hook me in. I didn't really like the characters at first, but like by about the halfway mark, I started to like, okay, I mean, I can get behind this now.
Yeah,
especially Ariana Grande. I was like, at the first, I was just like, I couldn't stand that character. But then I was like, oh, I kind of understood what they were doing, what she was doing with that. And she did a great job, but I was just like, I don't need annoying characters.
Yeah, once they start being friends, I definitely picked up a bit more on the movie. I did like it.
Yeah.
I think that I was expecting there to be more plot. I was kind of surprised that
it's such a long movie, but not much happens. I
didn't realize it was such a school movie.
Okay, right.
And then they're kind of just hanging out, going to class and stuff.
Yeah, I was grilling my mom about it because she had seen the live show.
Okay, I guess it was playing in London.
Yeah, I can't. No, I think it was. It's not like the main cast. She just saw third running of it in Manchester, I think.
Oh, in Manchester. Okay.
Funny story. She won't let me tell them this, but she bought tickets. She bought tickets for it for December 2023. She was like, "Oh, I'll treat myself to go and see this," and then she bought tickets. She's like, "Oh, I've got really good seats. I can't imagine why I got such good seats." And then she checked the seats, and she bought it for December 2024.
Oh no!
Put it over a year in advance. So she's like, "Oh well,
that's crazy.
I'll just go next year."
That they so she saw it last
a couple months ago.
That's hilarious.
Timing worked pretty well.
That's great. Yeah. Well, she got great seats too.
Yeah. She enjoyed it. But no. So I was asking her, I was like, it's in two parts. She's like, oh, I wonder if the first part's just going to be like them at school. And I kind of asked her, but then I told her not to spoil it for me because in my mind, I'm like, well, what else is there left to do? I don't understand what part 2 of this movie is, Trevor.
Is she just going to be a political fugitive on the run, wreaking havoc and stuff?
How'd you make a full movie out of that though? Because we know where it's going to. We know where it's got to end, right? With her being the Wicked Witch of the West. And my other question is, so her sister in this movie in the wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one
who gets crushed by the house?
Dorothy lands the house.
I think it has to be, right?
That's crazy that would be the thing.
So yeah, maybe there's going to be more of her story.
I mean, I guess how do they make her wicked? She was the only sympathetic character in the whole thing.
Well, I think she wasn't as sympathetic as you might think because
I guess not.
Because the dad hated Alphaba so much, and she was also treating her like she was just a hanger on or whatever. Yeah, no, I guess if you drop a house on anybody, you can make them seem evil.
I mean, I guess it's just dropping a house on someone who's wheelchair bound just seems a bit harsh.
Yeah, I feel like I hope she's cured at some point before.
Well, that's what I mean.
They drop the house.
It's this movie is making Dorothy in Wizard of Oz the most horrible character in the history of
Yeah.
of cinema.
Well, I think, and I don't know if like if it's actually gonna like if it's gonna touch on Dorothy at all, really. Like,
well, I was surprised how they framed the movie with it starting off at like the end of The Wizard of Oz, and they're all celebrating the witch is dead, and they even show Dorothy and friends running down the yellow brick road. I was like, oh wow, they're actually really leaning into this. I guess why not? And then it was like a retelling of the story to the Munchkin people. Well, that was an interesting way to frame it. Obviously, that's how they do it in the stage show, right? But just I thought it was kind of interesting framing because they could have done it like this is just a separate story about that same story.
Yeah.
We're not really that linked in any way. It was like, no, you're definitely linked. You're showing legit bits from that movie almost. Yeah, I don't know. It just prequels in general just kind of.
Well, it did the thing where it split it off into two parts, right?
Yes.
Which is then they kind of hid the fact that it was two parts.
Yeah,
a lot of people found out it was just part one, like going to the theater.
Does it do? It says part one, the opening credit, right? Even though
it does, yeah.
Even though isn't it like freaking 20 minutes into the movie when it does?
Yeah, I think so. So what did you think of the performances?
I thought they were good, really good. Like I say, Ariana Grande kind of bugged me at first, but like to your point, when they were like, I feel like they found their groove in it, and I thought they were really played well off each other.
Yeah. No, I thought she was quite good. I don't know if I would have nominated her for an Oscar for that.
I don't think so.
I think Cynthia, what's her last name? Erivo, yeah. I think she's definitely like the standout from the movie.
She was very good.
And like, you know, I think her singing kind of is undeniable.
Yeah, very, very good singing.
So I think I would probably sneak her in with a nom.
I would have loved to see in the original stage play. I don't know what are the names of the two because they cameo in it, right?
Yeah, it's Elsa,
right?
Idina Menzel,
really talented.
And you know, I can't remember her name, but it's, you know, the blonde character actor.
But it was funny because even just like the little scene they were in, like you could tell that they were probably amazing on stage together.
Yeah,
they just seemed to have so much chemistry, and they were only in like one song, and then that was it.
Yeah, was that a new song they put in just for the two of them to have that cameo?
No idea. I don't know what the crossover is of stage shots.
I thought your mom would have filled you in.
No, she didn't even remember any of the songs. Because I was like, we can sing the songs, and I was like, Defying Gravity. She was like, I don't know that song. I was like, didn't you just see this?
That's the
main song.
That's the big one. That's the one everybody knows.
Showstopper. Even I knew that.
Man, I honestly know them all now. My daughter.
So are you a fan of the music? Because I honestly, apart from that one, I don't remember any of the music.
I think I've kind of succumbed to the music. Like they wore me down. Yeah. So now, like I catch myself singing a tune or two just because they play it all the time.
Yeah, like it did. None of them really stuck out to me. Or I was like, yeah, that's a banger. Apart from the big one, right? But that's because maybe that's just because I wasn't really overly invested. Who plays the like the love interest guy? I think he did a pretty good job.
I don't know what his name is.
I?
It's not Peter Dinklage. I know that.
No, he was the animal, the goat.
Yeah. I didn't really love Michelle Yeoh's performance.
No, that's a good. I forgot. I wanted to mention that. I felt like she was kind of miscast. I don't know why they cast Michelle Yeoh in that part.
Yeah, I don't know. Like she's not giving like a very committed performance there, and same for Jeff Goldblum. Like he
just showed up and was Jeff Goldblum. Like, it's like all he does now.
Like he's pretty much playing the same character from Thor Ragnarok, which is just like Jeff Goldblum having a laugh.
Yeah, I honestly feel like they don't even give him lines. They don't even give him a script. They just say, "This is what you need to."
No, I don't take direction.
Yeah, it's like you just need to portray this as happened. Like just go, and it's just like, oh, yes, we'll see this. It's like just he calls you Jeff Goldblum for a bit.
Interesting. Yes, it's a long cry from where we were keeping praise on Jeff Goldblum for his performance in The Fly, which is
I still loved him in Wicked. I love a bit of Jeff Goldblum, but yeah, he's not exactly trying really hard.
He's not just like I'm never going to complain when I see Jeff Goldblum, only to say like I would like to see what someone else might have done with this role. Because it's not like we're going to be surprised that Jeff Goldblum turns out to be the bad guy.
True enough. Well, I mean, if you're trying to cast like the Wizard of Oz, though, like You need someone with a big personality, I think. Like, who else
Well,
would you put
a
in
big
there?
personality, but someone who is like never played against type, like who is just
True,
like a
true.
big fluffy teddy bear or whatever. And
Yeah,
then
that would have been interesting.
I don't know, like maybe cast Chris Pratt for that. Like honestly. And I know, like, I complain about Chris Pratt being cast in all the animated movies, but
Wow.
I think he would have been great in that
I
role.
feel like someone got a threatening letter from Chris Pratt. It's like, stop ragging on me.
I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm saying the opposite. Like, I'm saying, like, because he always plays, like, he's never played a bad guy, right? Like, he always plays,
Yeah,
like,
true.
because he's just like a lovable
Well,
little teddy bear, right?
He was kind of the bad guy in
Passengers?
No. Well, yeah, that. But what was the one with James McAvoy, and he's like a hitman with Angelina Jolie.
Oh, Wanted?
The Ben Wanted or Ben.
I don't think I remember that he was.
He was like the jerk in his office who he smashes over the face with a keyboard.
Oh, I don't. Well, that was a long time ago. That movie.
was
Now.
a long
Like that
time
was
ago.
before the ascendance of Chris Pratt.
Yeah, that was before Parks and Rec, even, I think.
Because, like, you know, like Chris Evans has done the villain thing so many times. It's not interesting
He's
anymore.
just like doing it for fun now, right?
But no, I think Pratt would have been interesting.
I think he could play Sinister pretty good. But it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt his rep, man. He's got animated movies to do.
Yeah, taking his schedule. All right, so how likely do you think it is that Wicked will take the top prize?
Oh, I don't think it's that likely. When was the last time a musical won Best Picture?
Well, it's not La La Land, I can tell you that. It might be Chicago.
Oh yeah,
like 2002.
Okay.
I don't know if one has won more recently than that.
No, but I got Chicago. That's a good shout.
But yeah,
I mean, potentially. That's what I mean. I don't know what a Scuttlebutt's like, because I know they got a lot of like the press tour for that was very odd. Those actresses were very strange to watch in interviews.
They're like, I think at some point they've just stopped being like relatable human beings.
like that is putting it lightly.
Like we've just watched two people just descend into an alternate reality.
Yeah, they're like they're on another planet, right?
And yeah. So like, you know, not to be mean, like I love both their performances and stuff on there.
They were great.
You know, they
just don't know if that stuff damaged the reputation a little bit.
Well, but like the stuff going on with Amelia Perez and the Brutalist.
I'm not privy to it. I can't wait for the episodes.
Well, when we talk about Amelia Perez, we'll get into it.
You'll be able to dish.
Like it's quite some crazy stuff, and like more stuff is coming out every single day on that movie, seemingly. So
okay.
It's really got
come back for that one, guys.
You know, the Brutalist has its controversies over use of AI.
Okay.
And of course, Adrian Brody remains a controversial leading man.
Yep.
And then like Anora has like a few things going against it. So it's kind of like a wide open field in which, you know, maybe 5 different movies could win, which is like, I don't know if that's ever happened.
Yeah, did you normally get like a front runner at some point, right?
A front runner and then like like one that's kind of gaining momentum and then a dark horse.
Yeah, usually. But I've not really been following it, but yeah, I've not really heard anything on the grapevine or about like, this one's definitely going to win in any category.
No, like it's pretty wide open across the board. Like they're not really shoo-ins the same way that, you know, there have been in the past.
That's good though, right? You want a bit of competition.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be an interesting night. And, you know, Conan O'Brien is hosting, which I think is
Is he? I didn't know that.
A good choice. And he's never hosted before, which is kind of weird.
It's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't do a terrible job. I feel like sometimes they get really good people and it just like doesn't go well. Doesn't mesh.
Well, Jon Stewart didn't really figure it out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, kind of different, right? You have to.
I think Jimmy Kimmel's done a really good job, but like he's sort of like a safe bet at this point.
He's a bit milquetoast, isn't he?
I think the last time I was just floored by a host was the second time that Chris Rock hosted.
Oh, really?
It was like the second year that they had just nominated all white actors. And like he just cleaned house.
He leaned into that one, right?
Yeah.
Oscar's so white.
Yeah. So it wasn't the year he got slapped. He was just presenting that time.
Oh, I've almost forgotten about that.
Yeah. Okay, so 3 minutes left. Do you want to talk about
We're getting into RoboCop?
your like any expectations going for RoboCop? Like
Dead or alive, you're podding with me.
we should have said that.
Just thought of it. No, I love RoboCop.
Well, I know you got like that like cutout
Have you seen
poster
my
of
have you seen my
RoboCop.
3D poster?
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
cool.
right? Yeah, I love it. I'm interested to watch RoboCop because I watched RoboCop like when I was way too young to watch it.
Same.
And I just loved it because it was violent and
Yeah.
had some had some cool one-liners, and it was just like, it's like a fun action movie with crazy shit, but like it's so much more than that. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to watch it again because I haven't seen it in years, but it's like it works on different levels. It's like a secretly a different movie than what you think sometimes.
Well, that's kind of Paul Verhoeven's thing, right?
Deal,
like,
right? Yeah, a lot of people probably don't understand what the message of
like
RoboCop is.
a lot of like just like normal people who just want to go and see like a cool action movie can get that experience too.
It definitely works like that
without
right?
like thinking about like, you know, oh, is this a movie about societal decay?
Is this trying to say something about society? Like, nah, it's just a robot cop shooting people.
He's a robot cop bringing justice out.
He's shot him in the dick.
I was gonna wait until the ride back, but have you seen that like alternate video of that scene?
No, I might have. Now you just said that, it's like tickled the memory in the back of my mind. So I think I might have, but I've forgotten what.
So these guys did like sort of extended or alternate versions of scenes from RoboCop.
Yes, that does sound familiar.
And the best one is the shoot in the dick scene where there was like 20 guys who got shot in the dick in a row.
I do remember that now, actually. Yeah,
so I know like it's not on YouTube, obviously. So you just kind of have to Google and search around for it. But it's for people who've not seen it, it's quite incredible. I doubt we'd be able to link it below.
Yeah, let's keep away from that. You guys can find it.
Yeah, just try to find it yourselves.
There's some keywords there you could probably just use.
Yeah, maybe in incognito mode.
Yeah, don't Google 20 dicks in a row.
Yeah, that's the only thing they're Googling. Oh man, well, this is gonna be fun. Like, this is honestly such a fun movie. Like, but every time I watch it, I am like surprised at how violent it is. Like, it's insanely violent, brutal movie.
It's like proper visceral stuff going on in it. I love it. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the sequels?
I've never seen any of the sequels.
I remember watching them when I was younger, and I had a friend who really enjoyed one part of one of the sequels, but they're not great. It kind of lost its way a bit, and I never have, and I never will watch the remake.
My wife and I had tickets to go see the remake, and then we were just like hanging out in the mall before it started, and then we both said like, do you actually want to go see this? And we're like, nah. So we didn't go see it.
Burn my ticket in front of
Well, no, we got our money. We got our money back. Then we just did something else that night.
Yeah, I'll never see that, and I will never see the Total Recall remake.
I have seen the Total Recall remake.
I don't need that in my life.
It sucks. It's not very good.
No doubt.
Like it's just like it just missed the point entirely, right? It's just like let's just do this with like updated special effects, basically, and then like kind of lose like all the
things that made it so good. We don't need any of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. We'll just put. Wasn't it?
Colin Farrell and Bryan Cranston's the baddie.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's decent casting for fair play, but I mean, you need more than that, really.
No, I don't know if I've ever loved Bryan Cranston in a movie.
Yeah, that's
maybe
fair.
Maybe Isle of Dogs. I liked it.
I haven't seen that, but yeah, I'm trying to think what he's done, what he's been in that's been good.
Well, anyways, folks, we arrived to the movie theater safely.
We made it. We made it, guys.
If you are new to the podcast, Pete and I are going to go inside and watch RoboCop. Come back here and give you our spoiler-free reactions, for giving you plenty of warning before going into spoiler talk.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm ready for it.
It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great night. You guys are going to have a great time coming back in from the break.
I've never seen it on a theater screen with a big group of people.
I think it's been 10 years since I've seen this movie too, so I'm excited.
It's been the same for me. It's been a while. I know I've got a poster on my wall. I'm a pretender.
All right. Shall we see it?
Yeah, okay.
Here we go. Wish us luck, everybody.
Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. We're in the frozen wastelands of the theater parking lot here.
We just saw an accident.
Yeah, luckily it wasn't our car. They got sideswiped by a truck on the way out here, but somebody definitely did. Oh well.
We got the license plate. And it looks like
someone called
stuck
RoboCop
around. Yeah. Yeah. That is the one part of this movie I did not remember was like almost being murdered over a parking infraction. It was really funny.
They don't really mess about in the near future Detroit, I guess.
What were those things called? Like the stop motion?
Oh, Ed 209?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about overkill. Anyway, should we get into it? I thought we just kind of jumped in.
What a picture.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, like we saw this movie with a couple people who had never seen it before, and
that's crazy.
That's the Darren and Ben. They were both
shout out.
They were both blown away by like how funny the movie was, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't remember it being as like laugh out, like purposefully hilarious. Like
yeah, I guess me neither. I
don't know. Do you think
seeing it with an audience really changes it a little bit? Do you think it is purposely hilarious, or do you think it's just hilarious because it's so old now? And no, I think it's definitely on purpose.
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of like satirical bits in it that just played for laughs for sure. But
I think the jokes are more obvious now than they would have been.
Yeah, they don't seem super subtle. With the way when you look at it now, it's just like there's a lot of like just people laughing out loud in that theater.
Yeah, well, because I think like Paul Verhoeven's like looking at America and saying, you know, you guys are fucking like capitalist assholes.
Yeah,
like this is what I think of your society, and then people are like, yes, I love it. I love everything about this.
Yeah, people are not really getting that. It's like he's just trying to say it's bad.
It's like, yeah, you're like your movies are overly violent, so I'm gonna shove what you want down your throat.
Yeah. This one reminded me a lot of Starship Troopers. Watching it again.
Yeah, well, like right down to men and women changing.
naked people changing together.
Yeah, no,
like the little commercials they kept going to though and stuff. Like it's so hilarious how he does that.
I definitely think those two movies are probably the most similar in his filmography.
Yeah,
like even like Total Recall, which comes right after this, I think has a different feel to this one.
Yeah, I would say so. Although I think that's my favorite of his, to be honest.
I think this one's my favorite.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Starship Troopers is right up there too.
Yeah, I love them all, to be honest. All three of those that you just mentioned, they're just amazing.
And Showgirls? Do you like Showgirls?
No, it's not going to Showgirls. Not enough robots in that one.
So we got into this a little bit, but like, how many times do you think you've seen this movie in total?
You know what? Probably all the way through, probably not that many. I know I watched it a lot when I was too young to be watching it. And then, then like maybe once, twice, like in my like late 20s. But yeah, like you said, probably not seen it for a good 10 years. Because there was like certain bits that I really, really remember. And then there was a few, like I didn't want to talk about it on the way here because I couldn't remember if I was remembering bits from the sequel. Because like I have a vivid memory of like him being taken apart and like reprogrammed again by somebody else.
Oh, that must be in a sequel.
Yeah, but I thought it was the bad guy from this movie, but I can't imagine they brought him back.
Yeah, is it? You mean Kurtwood Smith or Ronny Cox?
Which is which?
Ronny Cox is Captain Jellicoe.
Right. No, not him. The other one.
Yeah, so Kurtwood's like that 70s show guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was sure it was him, but maybe I'm just misremembering.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said on the way here, I've not seen any of the sequels. Like I don't even think I've seen like a clip from.
I remember watching like 10, 15 minutes of the third one, I think, and then just turning it off because it was just garbage.
I've heard the third one is really, really bad.
Yeah.
But the second one has its defenders.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and check it out now because.
Hey, maybe a future series. I don't know. Like
Paul Verhoeven movies, I'd be up for that.
No, I mean RoboCop.
Just all the RoboCop movies, or what's the remake?
Yeah, like I don't
tear into it.
I don't know what Paul Verhoeven's involvement in the sequels are.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. But I love this one.
Yeah, it's so good. Like there's no like dips in it. It just keeps going through at a clip, man. I miss that about movies. It's like just keep going and just go, and then you're done.
Hour 37 minutes.
Yeah. Really miss
It's very economical.
movies being shorter than that. Like,
what
you don't need any more. Just go.
What I found interesting on this watch is like how complex like the corporate politics are.
Yeah,
of this.
like when it first introduces it, he's talking about all the different things that they're involved in. It's pretty scary, really, isn't it?
Like, I think that if this movie were made today, it would just be like the CEO of the company is evil and he's doing evil things.
Yeah.
But no, it's like it's this junior executive who is like trying to get one up on the number 2 in charge of the company, and the CEO is like sort of benevolent. And then like the junior executive has like great success with the program, and then he's just killed. Like and then the guy that you didn't realize was the real villain the whole time kind of takes over. And then I think that was a clever way to show how, you know, the seedy crime boss is actually just like partners with,
just like
with the executive.
Pawn of the CEO. Not CEO, just like a number 2 guy.
But yeah, like I feel like a lot of movies would just do this like straight up as like the, you know, this company's just blatantly evil. It's got this evil guy.
So do you think the movie's saying that the company is not evil?
I think the movie's saying that, I think the company itself is sort of, I don't know, I guess benign, but there are these like just the act of, you know, capitalism trying to get into every single market.
That's crazy, right?
So like
privatization of everything.
Trying to privatize the police force, and you know they do program RoboCop with like 3 good principles in there, right? So at least part of this company is trying to do the right thing, but just from the act of trying to privatize it just is inherently evil, even if the people doing it aren't all necessarily evil.
Right.
They may just be like amoral. Like I'd say most of them are amoral at worst, whereas Ronny Cox is just like straight up evil. But I think the movie kind of shows that, you know, if you get the wrong person in a position of power like that, they can just do whatever they want, and then they can.
I loved that they kept showing about like how things just kept going wrong, like in other places in the world. Like the satellite just like setting a bunch of places on fire and killing a bunch of people.
Well,
I don't remember any of that being in the movie. It's so funny.
Yeah, I guess it's not really spoilers. It's just kind of a throwaway joke. But yeah, like the Ronald Reagan Star Wars program or whatever.
Yeah.
But like it says like a misfire caused it to create like an accident somewhere in California, but it happened to kill 2 ex-presidents.
Right.
So like you have to think like that was actually just like an assassination that happened.
Exactly, right? I love this cut to like them trying to revive like the weirdest like dummy I've ever seen. It's like an emaciated old white person. Such a weird choice.
Well, the news broadcasts are so funny because like they're almost playing it straight the whole time. Like they're not laying it on too thick, but the things they're saying are so ridiculous. Like they just mentioned that 2 presidents died. It's like a sad day for America. Anyways,
moving on.
And even like the parody commercials too kind of just strike the exact right tone.
That Nukem game, that was the best. Taking away my military aid. Oh man.
So it really just shows like a society pulling itself apart from all the seams. And it felt very timely to watch this movie like right now, especially like when we're seeing, you know, people who are in charge of companies that are doing really terrible things in this world.
Saying no names.
Yeah, and maybe like utilizing technology that company employs for their own dark, nefarious purposes.
Yes, it's very prescient, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know. That was certainly ringing true as I was watching it.
Let's just hope that Elon Musk doesn't buy Boston Dynamics.
That's not even who I was talking about.
No, I was just meant separately from that. Anyway.
So anything else kind of catch you on this version, or like How was it watching it in the theater?
It was great watching it in the theater, and it was amazing. The one thing, like, I felt like I must have watched it with poor sound quality in the past, because there was certain things in this that I picked up that I'd never picked up before, mostly with like Ed 209 like sounding like an animal, which I thought was a really strange choice. It's like, why would you make this robot sound like a lion or whatever it sounds like? It's like growling at me.
When he falls down the stairs.
Oh yeah, and it's screaming. Like, that's crazy. I love that they did that. It's like, yeah, this great military robot can't go downstairs. Literally just slips down the stairs. RoboCop's reaction is like, okay. Yeah, they're terrible. They're really terrible at designing like military type robots. Like they start with like this behemoth thing that can't even walk downstairs or get through a doorway, and then they pivot to a cyborg for whatever reason. They felt like the need to keep his face on and then cover his face. Like, it seemed like such an odd choice. They make it mostly a robot, but then leave his face, but then cover his entire face with a helmet. It's like, well, this doesn't make any sense why you would do that.
Well, and they never really explain, like, why are you doing cyborgs?
Right?
Why are you like using a human like imprint?
Yeah, it didn't seem necessary.
Yeah,
it's like, just cut his arm off and erase all his memories. It's like, well, why do you even need the person then? Yeah. It's just a robot at that point. Like, what does it benefit you having the guy with the memory in there?
Like, I would have to think like the rationale behind it is that, you know, for community policing reasons, like, people would respond better if
someone with a human mouth.
It looks like there's someone with a human mouth in there. Like, you could tell that, like, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a robot, like, but it doesn't get into that at all. Like, it really just dives in. I almost have to think there's stuff missing from the final cut,
there's gotta be a ton of
for,
stuff.
Like, the rationale for why they went down that route.
Yeah. Well, even the stuff with his family and that, like, they skip past that pretty quickly. He's like, he goes back to his old house and like has a few flashbacks. Then he doesn't even really mention it again, apart from towards the end.
Well, it's interesting because Murphy just really shows up to the station, and we don't know much about him besides the fact that he seems just like a very confident, seasoned cop who has, like, you know, a few quirks and eccentricities that'll pay off later, but you know,
likes flirting with his new partner even though he's married.
Yeah. Do you think he's flirty as a robot too?
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
she's into it.
Yeah. But no, like you kind of don't really need that.
No,
because you don't need to know what his home life was like, because you know, you could just show like shadows of it, and then you know,
I really enjoyed just like the over the top, like, hey dad, can you do this?
Yeah,
like, hey, I love you. And then when they were waving at him goodbye, it was like such an exaggerated over the top wave as the camera zooms out. It was amazing.
Well, that's why, like, I really feel like Verhoeven was so in the pocket in this era, because, you know, he's just using the broadest strokes possible and like using every trope in the book basically but then he could take shortcuts like that. And that's how you can make this movie an hour and 37 minutes long, and that
just works so well every time.
It primarily be gunfights.
Right. Like, nothing that he does as RoboCop is like good policing.
No,
he's like a wrecking machine.
Yeah.
Even the people he arrests, like when the first one he goes into it, he stops the guy robbing the convenience store. He absolutely trashes that convenience store and then doesn't even arrest him. But that's what goes in, throws the guy into the machine.
I think he must have arrested him. We just didn't see it.
He just leaves. Then when he wants to know, he just like almost kills people as he's trying to arrest him and just destroys everything.
Well, that's why I feel like someone watching this in 1987 would have gone like, yeah, that's a great police officer. He just went in and he took care of business.
Yeah, he's smashing that guy into the vending machine. But in reality, they would have been much better off if he just stolen the $200 of cash and left versus him destroying their entire.
Yeah, he's not going to kill those people. Like
No, he's just going to take the cash and leave.
That's why they tell you, like, working retail, just like give the person the money, then they'll try to track him down later. Like, it's not fucking worth it.
Insurance will cover it. Don't worry. But yeah, if he's like smashing up your whole store, then like that's you're closed for a few days there probably.
Yeah, like way more damage was done to that like drink fridge that he smashed into.
Just trash the whole place.
But like, he just eats baby food, so he doesn't care about that.
That's true. And I love the way he just like lets people shoot him, and like all the bullets are ricocheting off him, and like flying, destroying the whole store. It's like, why are you doing that? Just stop him.
Right, so should we talk about performances before we get into like spoilers proper?
I wanted to ask you what do you think? Because like when I was younger, I thought him acting as RoboCop was like some of the best stuff I've ever seen in my life. I was like, how does he act like a robot so well? And I still think it's really great, but I think he just figured out like 2 tricks, and then that was it. It's like all you need to do.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because I think it's like technically a like very brilliant performance.
Oh yeah.
Like it's really precise, and he like
the way he moves.
The way he moves is just like an incredible feat. Like I can't take that away from him.
You can't really like learn that from somebody, right? You just have to come up with that yourself. Like I guess this is how a robot would walk if it was a cyborg. It just works so well.
I do see your point though, in that like he doesn't have like not that I don't think it's a great performance, but I wouldn't count it amongst my favorite like robot performances.
Yeah, I think a lot of it works well just because of the costume, and like it's so bulky and stiff. Like he has his arms are so far out, and he waves them up and down so like in an exaggerated manner. It's like it works, but it's like I think it maybe just that's how he had to walk because of how the suit was built.
Yeah.
But like no, his little movements and jerky head movements are really good. I do like that. Like the way he walks around. You can tell he practiced walking up and down a hallway so much.
Well, the first scene that we're introduced to RoboCop, and he's just walking in the police station,
through the
really makes an
frosted
impact.
Glass. Yeah, it's awesome. Just the sound of like doof, doof, every footstep is just like such a thud. Which wouldn't really sound like that. It's just so great.
But no, I would still say Arnold in T2 is my favorite robot performance.
Well, that's like that was all in his face and stuff, right? Like he did such a good job in that. Well, he wasn't covered in like fake metal for the whole movie.
And there, I think like the turn where we see like Robot Man having a bit of feelings but can't quite express it is done a lot better by Schwarzenegger in T2 than Weller gets like a little bit of a moment to do that, where he's like just lamenting the fact that he feels a longing for his wife and kids, but he can't remember them. I feel like that in that moment it didn't completely sell the same way.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and they kind of just like, let's just move on from that. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out my targeting computer.
I also want to shout out Brent Spiner from Star Trek: The Next Generation, because I think he's also way up there at the top.
The first I thought you meant he was in this movie, and I was like, he's not in the movie, is he? What you're talking about robot performances?
Just my favorite robot performances is Data.
You really shocked me for a minute there. I was like, how did I miss Brent Spiner?
Yeah, what are you seeing this one?
Popping up in the background.
LeVar Burton was in this too. Yeah,
they're all in it.
Am I missing any other?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Weller is good though. Like I can't take that away.
Yeah, no, he did a great job.
And then Nancy Allen as Lewis, I think, is also really good.
Yeah, she does a good job. Although she really took me out when she fell asleep and her pillow was like a bunch of steel poles.
You mean when she gets knocked down by?
No, when she's like literally taking a nap. She's like made a pillow out of steel bars.
Oh, I must have missed that. Like
when
they're in the steel factory.
Yeah. Just before he wakes her up by shooting a gun right near her, which is a real dick move, RoboCop. You could have woke her up before that. I feel like that was really unnecessary. But she's having a nice little snooze, and her pillow is a bunch of steel bars. I'm like, was nowhere better to lay down.
And his targeting systems were not working great at that moment either.
Right? It's like, it was a bit of a weird thing to do, but no, that took me out a bit. But no, she was great.
And then all the villain performances,
so good, so slimy. The scene of the two of them in the bathroom is so good.
Yeah,
it was like homoerotic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's so good. And they all run away like, oh my god, he says we need to get out of here. And the guy
just pees his pants.
Pees his pants. don't even finish peeing because he wants to leave.
It's just like lingers on just like pee stain on his
I just
pants.
love that the idea being that this guy is so scary that you just can't even be in the same room as him. And I'm like, well, but why? What's he gonna do? Like, what do you think he's gonna do to you? Oh.
Yeah, it's Miguel Ferrer, I think is his name.
Yeah, what do I know him from?
He was in Twin Peaks
that
as well.
Might be what I know him from.
He's Albert from
he's got one of
Twin
those
Peaks.
faces where
Yeah,
he pops up in a ton of
He's
stuff.
been in a billion things. Like he's
a perfect shit-eating face. If that's a thing.
A shit-eating face?
Yeah, like a shit-eating grin. He's not just got the shit-eating grin, it's his whole face. Just like slimy.
Kurtwood Smith as the Boddicker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and Ray Wise
really good actually.
Is one of the gangsters. Like he's also from Twin Peaks.
Right. Yeah, there was a couple of the. I think.
Oh, you're not a Twin Peaks guy, right?
I mean, I've seen it, but I'm not.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, because I think I know what you mean. Because I was like, I know him from something too. Like
yeah, Leland Palmer.
Yeah, a lot of people are. I'm like, I know that guy's face from something.
Yeah, a lot of great character actors, kind of all around. But no, I think RoboCop is very good.
Yes, I agree. RoboCop is very good.
Do we want to get into?
It's as good as I remember, if not even better, to be honest.
Do we want to get into spoilers officially? Like
sure. I feel like I've not really been too mindful about spoilers.
Haven't got too much into the plot.
Yeah, okay.
It's like we've been talking about some.
Let's get into spoilers then. Why not?
All right, yeah. Spoilers bother you? Drop off. Yeah. Definitely watch RoboCop though. Like you're crazy if you haven't watched it.
All right, where should we start then?
What was your favorite death scene in this movie?
Well, my favorite death scene is one of my favorite parts in the whole movies, and it's the guy driving into the toxic waste.
Oh god, it's so funny.
And shout out to my friend back home. He won't listen to this, but I remember it being his favorite. Bradley listed his favorite scene of all time, and he used to reenact it all the time. And he'd be like, "Help me, go,
no, don't touch me!"
It's just the way he keeps going, go. It's just like, I just love that it's just like a giant thing that just says toxic waste on it, and then it's ridiculous.
It's at a steel mill too. Like, what is going in there?
I mean, there's no reason why it would be there. There's no reason why driving into it would be that easy. And then they just have him like wandering around all like a toxic Avenger style. And then he just hits him with his car, and he literally just explodes. Oh, it's just so funny.
It's just like so liquid.
You can just imagine it being like, just make him explode when the car hits him. It'll be amazing. Oh yeah, but other than that, I think the first one where Ed 209 just like absolutely annihilates that guy.
Like,
it's
someone falling everything.
It's paramedic. It's like got riddled with like 100 bullets. It's just so over the top and like so unnecessary. Oh man, it's crazy.
And I think Murphy dying is so impactful. Like
it's just grim, man.
Just disturbing. Like they're just all laughing at him,
shooting his arm off. It's like, yeah, I remember that really affected me when I was younger. Actually, like you say, it's so like it goes so far, and and they're really slow about it as well. And it just the way they just like all just shooting him for like a full like 30 seconds, and he's not even dead. He's just like, oh my word, shoots his hand off, he shoots his arm off. Man.
I think it was a long time before I actually saw this movie start to finish. Like, I think I caught this on cable in pieces a lot.
It's one of those movies where you just see a little bit, right? For sure.
So I think like I've probably just seen this all the way through maybe 3 times now, including this time.
And I think there's a lot of, it's one of those movies where it'd be like a bunch of it cut out for cable and stuff. Like, when it was shown on TV, like, you have a recording of it on TV, and it like a few things would be like cut out for completely.
I think I mostly caught like the last little bit. So I think in my mind as like a younger kid, he spent a lot more time without the helmet.
Oh yeah, okay.
As like that's really just like 5 or 6 minutes of the movie. He doesn't have his face on.
Yeah.
Or doesn't have his helmet on. You see his face. I think the the makeup work when he has his helmet off.
It's really good, actually.
It's incredible. Like
it's insane how well that works.
I keep like looking to see how they do it. Like I know how they do it, but like I can't see the lines or anything.
No, for what it was, like it's actually the effects hold up pretty decent. I mean, the stop motion stuff is obviously pretty old school, but no, like the makeup work on him is fantastic.
Yeah, the stop motion stuff, like obviously, like the timing of it is like a little off, but like I feel like it's got to be like off on purpose, right? Like I don't know, like it's a
bit like Ray Harryhausen, like Sinbad, janky.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that. Yeah, do you think he went for that on purpose then?
I think, well, because like just like it's just so unnatural in the movements.
Yeah.
I think that they splice it together with the real footage really well,
with
like
the props and stuff as well. I like that they went from like they actually did have a Red 209 prop on set that they could interact with.
Yeah,
and it's just when it was moving, it went to the stop animations. But
do you think you would have been fine with being a volunteer for that demonstration, like as a young employee of that company?
He kind of got voluntold, to be fair to him. Yeah. I don't think he was in a position where he could have been like, nah, I'm good.
I feel like they shouldn't have like put ammo in.
Yeah, like they legit just pulled out this giant, huge gun. Like, here's a loaded weapon in our boardroom. And everyone's just cool with it.
It doesn't really have a mode that's not threatening, right? Because it always just has guns. Yeah, it's like guns are built into the design to always be there.
How are you going to use this as a police officer when its only reaction it can possibly do is you have 20 seconds or I'm going to fill you with 1 million bullets and then fire a rocket at you? No matter if it's a parking infringement or what, you're just dead. It's like, I can't really see that doing like traffic stops.
I love Jones's line to I can't remember the younger executive's name now, but he's like, it doesn't matter that it wouldn't have worked. That thing would have been a cash cow, replacement parts for 25 years.
Yeah, that was perfect. Like, it doesn't matter if it works. I feel like that could have been lifted from a literal boardroom anywhere.
Well, like it's literally just like, and the fact that it's Detroit really feeds into like, right. This is just what was happening to American car companies at the time during the 80s, and then obviously getting worse in the 90s. Is like, let's just make them for shittier, like designed to break down and replace.
What do they call it? Planned obsolescence.
Yeah. So this is our second movie that takes place in Detroit.
What was the first one?
Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F.
Wow, good memory.
Yeah, and that even like obviously just takes place partially in Detroit.
It's in Detroit.
Detroit never
then quickly moves.
Is portrayed well, I guess, in movies. Like it gets a bit of a bad rap.
Yeah. Is there? I was trying to think of one then to pull out the hat, but I can't think of one that gives it a good rap.
I don't know.
Quick, Trevor, pull something out. People will come after us.
It follows Barbarian are both not good.
Oh boy. All right, sorry Detroit.
I think people are overly mean to Detroit. Like
it's just one of those easy targets. All right, I went through a rough time, so I just got a kick in. Yeah. Anything else in RoboCop we've not touched on? I'd buy that for $1.
Oh gosh, that was.
I remember that from the movie, but I don't remember how much they put in the movie. They literally had him say that line 3 or 4 times,
and people are
different scenes.
People are just always watching that show, just like
it's the only show on, and everybody thinks it's the most funny thing that's ever been written. I love that idea.
I don't understand how someone can watch this movie then just like not understand that it's like being satirical.
Right. Yeah. Not much of any of the plans of any of the people in this movie make a lot of sense when you really get down to it.
Well, so they're building like a new city basically on top of Detroit. It's going to employ,
but they can only build it if there is no crime.
Yeah, it's just so fun.
It's like, that's our one blocker for doing this whole project, is there needs to be no crime. It's like, what? How can there be no crime? What are you talking about?
It's like crime will be non-existent in 40 days because of this one guy who's going to go around shooting everybody.
I mean, I guess it would work if there was a psychotic cyborg going around shooting anybody that is doing any kind of crime. I think probably would solve crime, to be fair. Or just it'd be like a
I don't know about
it'd
that.
It'd be like a Batman situation where only the worst crime would happen. All the really big time criminals would come out the woodwork.
And that's true. Like, and
like everyone just running around the streets with like military grade, like whatever those guns were supposed to be. But like they were having a great time with them.
Yeah, I feel like RoboCop is not really designed to go after white collar criminals, right? Like he's not going to be like riding a desk doing research.
Like you've not paid enough tax. Like you're coming with me.
He did do a little bit of investigating in this, and that he
did he.
Well, he
stuck his thing in the wall to figure out.
Yeah, like so he stuck his dick in the in the port.
His fist stick.
And then he saw like, okay, these are the known associates, so I'm just going to go and arrest them immediately where they are. And to his credit, he did arrest most of them. Like he killed a couple of them.
But like to his credit, but to the detriment of the rest of that police department. Like
these people have just been running
like,
around.
They're at large. We need this guy. He's killed like 30 police officers or something, they said, which is a lot of police officers, FYI. And then they're like, but I guess we'll never be able to find him. And then RoboCop's like, oh, well, all his associates, they're on the computer here. He just told me, and I'll just go and get one of them right away, and then he'll tell me where they are. It's like, oh, good police work, RoboCop. We've not had any ideas of how to capture this guy. But I guess maybe that was the point, because he was working for them all along.
So it mentions that, the conditions there are really unsafe, and then the police
go on strike.
The police go on strike, and like the patrol officers are like
getting killed every day.
Like very angry about it. The sergeant was coming out and saying like, we're police officers, we don't go on strike. Do you think the movie has an opinion on
whether they should go on strike or not?
Or just on policing in general?
Yeah, what's what I mean? They make them out to not be very good. But I mean, maybe I think they're making the point that it's just because they don't have the equipment, they don't have what they need, and they're just getting like annihilated out on the streets. I don't know. It's hard to say. What do you think?
I don't know. Like, I think certainly if the movie was made today, it would.
Oh God, it'd be very different.
It would be different. Well, I think the fact that his idea of like cleaning up the streets is just like blowing people away.
Yeah,
I think is like very modern.
Right.
I just don't. I don't know necessarily. Is Verhoeven saying that this is like a typical police overreaction to anything, is to go and blow it up? I don't know.
Yeah, he's not really.
That would kind of be a bit of ahead of the curve in the 80s.
He's not really programmed for de-escalation, is he?
No.
He doesn't try to talk anyone down. He's just like, I'm going to shoot you as soon as I have an opportunity.
Yeah, but like all the police are impressed by RoboCop. To be fair, like they're like, oh, this guy's really good.
Yeah,
like,
look how big that gun is. I'm pretty sure one person said.
Yeah, like that gun's just like, I don't know, shooting 6 rounds at a time. Just like,
it's pretty impressive.
The stopping power is pretty impressive on that thing. All right, so what would you rate RoboCop 1987?
Ooh.
I'll remind everybody, our rating system
6.5
is out of 6.5.
I'm going to give RoboCop a 6.2.
I'm going to go 6.15.
There you go.
Maybe just under you. But yeah. I think a great movie.
It just doesn't have many faults, you know what I mean? Like if you're going at full, if you started at full marks and took off marks for all the things that didn't quite work, there's not a lot in there that I would take off marks for. Just like everything works for me. I love it.
And when you hear about like all of the like production problems that they
Right,
had. Like
yeah.
they had to redesign RoboCop multiple times during it because it just wasn't working. And then
Right.
Peter Weller had to change his performance completely. It is kind of a miracle that like it doesn't show in the final product. Like it
No,
looks like
no.
it was completely designed to work exactly the way that it did.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where everything just aligned, like eventually.
Yeah.
Not exactly how everyone was hoping, but
It's so much
it
better
just
that he's
works.
slow moving and he's just like
Yeah,
this
right?
like big hulking thing that
Yeah.
just shoots
For me,
everybody.
it's just like an unstoppable machine, right? It's like it doesn't have to go quick. It's just like the Terminator, right? That's probably there's a lot of parallels there. It's just relentless and doesn't have to go fast because it's just not going to stop, and you're not going to be able to
Yeah.
not going to be able to ever get away.
I feel like they must have been starting off the project like deliberately trying to not be Terminator because they wanted him to be running and stuff, but like then they're just like, well, like let's just like lean into it, and then he's even slower than the Terminator. Like
Even bulkier and slower. No.
it's like really he's like Michael Myers, but like with a fucking
exactly,
gun,
that's
right?
exactly
Like
what it is. It's like he's just gonna keep coming, and you're never gonna be able to get away.
dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Oh, some great lines, aren't they? But like it had one of those like what's the term where you remember something wrong?
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. Because in my mind I was sure the line is the name's Murphy. All my life I thought that's what he said, but he doesn't. He just says Murphy.
You know what? I just saw the movie, and I would have said,
Right?
"My name
the
is
name's
Murphy."
Murphy. I remember the name's Murphy, but he says, "What's your name, kid?" And he just goes Murphy. I was like, "That's not what you said." Why is this
It's
weird?
like, why do they change? Well, that's the thing. Like when something gets like parodied, and then that works its way into into culture, then you kind of remember the parody instead of right.
No, but yeah, still a great line.
Murphy, yeah, all timer.
You know, the one thing I did want to mention is a bit of a tangent, but we were talking about the effects and stuff. But the shot of him falling out of the building at the end,
It looks terrible.
and his
yeah.
arms look like they're 10 feet long. It's so weird. I'm like, I don't know who approved that model, but it just looks very odd.
Yeah,
it was so weird.
Yeah.
I wanted to look like Freddy Krueger with his freaking arm sticking out.
I wanted to see him splat on the ground, so I wonder why they didn't do that.
Very true.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been a good ending. Just have him totally annihilated. Yeah. Well, anyway, there you go. That's a nice sign off for the episode. We're home. We made it, guys.
We did not die on the way home. We did not fall into a ditch, although I still got to drive home.
Yeah, shout out to Trevor for handling the driving very well there. Very impressed, Trevor.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Did you notice we were slipping in the one?
It's pretty slippy, right? It's pretty icy out here.
Getting onto the highway just now was a little dicey, but honestly, not too bad.
We've been through worse.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
All right. Well, is there anything we need to shout out? What's on the agenda for next week?
I
don't know if we probably planned it yet.
I think we have. We're recording a little bit out of order, so I don't want to commit ourselves to anything. But we're going to be covering all the Oscar contenders
definitely
throughout all of February, and then at the end, we're going to be kind of giving our own awards out.
We'll figure this one out.
So, but if you are looking to catch up on all Oscar movies, let us come along with you on that journey. Follow us on Letterboxd, where First Look Final W. Because there's a character limit there.
Okay. Oh dear.
Yeah, we're occasionally running contests for you to get a free year's subscription to Letterboxd Patron.
We're pretty active on Letterboxd, man. Give us a shout on that.
We're on Blue Sky. Follow us on whatever YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Give us 5 stars.
Reddit. We're on Reddit somewhere.
You could e-transfer us money if you want to. That's fine too.
Email us nice little messages.
You could mail us something.
We'll give you Trevor's address.
They could probably find you from knowing where I live. Like,
true enough.
We've mentioned we're neighbors before.
All right, yeah. So keep an eye on the socials for what's coming up next week, guys. But unless you've got anything to add, Trevor.
Nothing to add.
Well, for this week, that's the final word.
Bye.